What is spiritual energy? Understanding how to sense your energy and move it may be one of the most important and practical psychospiritual tools that you can learn. By learning to see the movement of energy around you, your ability to navigate your life and the world drastically increases. Just like Neo in The Matrix, you'll begin to see the invisible forces that shift, maintain, and define our world. So what is energy? When we get angry, we feel a kind of red energy buzzing in our bodies. When we're happy, it may feel like a bubbly, joyous kind of energy. Places can have energies as well. A corporate office, for example, feels different than a grassy field. Morning has a different energy than evening. New Year's Eve has a different energy than Election Day. This isn't the energy of physics. Rather, it's psychospiritual energy. In spiritual and New Age circles, people talk about this kind of energy as if it's something supernatural, as if it's some mysterious force that exists beyond the laws of physics. Energy appears to lie outside the laws of physics because, in reality, it has nothing to do with physics. It is psychosomatic, which means it exists and moves through the human mind and body. When we are unconscious of the deeper regions of our psyche and the signals our body is picking up from our environment, we don't understand where these energetic experiences are coming from, and we tend to interpret them as possibly supernatural in their origin. When we walk into a warm and festive house party, for example, out of a cold and dark night, we feel this shift in energy immediately. And being able to sense these psychosomatic energies in ourselves as well as the world around us, that's the first step to understanding how to move and shift these energies in other people. Knowing how to move energies within yourself or in a group is the hidden key to psychological health, spiritual mastery, social charisma, and leadership, as well as just personal happiness and emotional well-being. So how do we sense our energies? To get better at sensing your own energy, start doing regular energy checks once an hour or a few times a day. Pause what you're doing and ask yourself, what does my energy feel like right now? If it feels like a shape in your body, notice that. It might have a color, a kind of sound maybe. Just see what it is that is in your body and watch it. Is it moving like a stream or like a breeze? Or is it standing still like stagnant water or stale air? Your energy may even feel solid and heavy like cement. When we have a lot of energy moving through us, like when we're excited, we might feel it like an electric current running through our bodies. If we're in our heads, on the other hand, it may feel like a pressure in the forehead, a kind of floating head feeling, or even a rolling storm cloud in the brain. A visual metaphor I like to use to think about energies is a color picker, like the kinds that you see in Photoshop and other art apps. The different energies we feel can be thought of as colors on the spectrum of light. And there's a saturation bar that usually dictates how vivid those colors appear. And that's kind of like the intensity of the energy. How much of this energy or color is flowing through you right now. When the intensity is low, we feel like we and the world around us is lacking in color. It kind of feels gray and dull. We might feel emotions, but they're muted. Or we may feel little or nothing at all. When the intensity is high, on the other hand, we feel as though we are bursting with color. Emotions come easily, and we can flow between different states. What we don't want to happen with energy is to have it trapped in some part of our body, not flowing, not changing color. What we do want is to feel it throughout our body, flowing steadily, changing color, or changing energy, according to the situation. So how do we shift our energy? If you do energy checks and we notice that your energy is stuck in one place and not flowing, you can usually shift it. To get it moving again, there are several different things you can do. For instance, use the breath. Using the breath to move energy is as simple as sighing. Just exhaling. And when you do that, you'll immediately feel a small shift in energy. If we deepen our breaths, we often feel like our body relaxes. If it becomes quicker breaths, then our body and our mind becomes more sharp and active. Often the feeling of having stagnant air inside us comes from not breathing enough. And if we open some windows, get some fresh air circulating, even better, go for a walk or a run, then we really get the air moving, really get the breath moving, and our energy moves as well. Another really great way to move energy is moving the body. Energies are psychosomatic, meaning the body has a lot to do with our energetic state. When we go out for a walk or to clear our heads, we're moving energy. If we're feeling stuck, put on some music. Do a little dance for 20 or 30 seconds, and right away you should feel things loosening up. Moving energy in the body goes much deeper than this, but these are some easy, immediate ways to start shifting your energy. Another way to do this is simply to change who you're around. Energy is contagious. It is fundamentally something that is social. The energy of other people affects us in countless ways. Some are obvious, some are subtle. If you've been around other people for a while, for example, try to get some time alone, preferably out in nature or a wide open space like a rooftop. If you've been alone for a while, go out, talk to someone, preferably someone you like. Catch up, connect, share a laugh. Even if it's just talking with your cat, that itself can start shifting your energy pretty quickly. Another great technique is ask your parts to step back. This is for those who are familiar with parts work, or IFS, something that I practice a good deal of. If we ask our parts to step back, whatever parts are blended will, if they're willing to do so, will pretty quickly sense an energy shift in our bodies and our minds. And if we ask enough of our parts to step back, usually that allows the self to embody and allows self-energy to run through us. There are many other ways to shift energy, including visualizations, saying mantras, meditations, and more. And many spiritual techniques fundamentally work by helping us to move and shift our energy. And any of these things that I've mentioned so far can be turned into spiritual practices, or we can see the way that different traditions use them in their practices. If we have deeper energy blocks, then energy is usually stuck at a deeper level that breathing, walking around, talking with friends isn't going to release. It might provide some initial relief, but it doesn't release that deeper energy. For example, if we are suffering the loss of a close friend or loved one, the energy of grief needs to move through us, or else it will get stuck inside. And sometimes we hold on to this grief as a way of never forgetting the person we loved. It may feel like a betrayal or an abandonment to do so. As a result, the energy or grief doesn't move through us to get processed and released. Instead, it becomes trapped in our body-mind and begins to affect our mood, thought patterns, and outlook on the world. Trauma is an extreme form of stuck energy. After a traumatic event, the body-mind seizes that life-threatening energy, or that moment, the energy that was created around that, and holds it in the body. And this is a form of protection that the body-mind uses to warn us never, ever to repeat the pattern of behavior that led to this life-threatening outcome. These kinds of energies are stuck at a much deeper level, and while breathing and doing a dance to move some energy are effective at shifting our mood and keeping us active, alert in the present moment, deeper energy shifts require more powerful inner work. This includes therapy, bioenergetic work, parts work, Jungian therapy, psychedelics, and this goes on and on. Play therapy, dance therapy, appropriate spiritual and religious practices, and so on. Now, after we start to master our own energy states, both noticing what energy we have and being able to shift it as needed, we can start learning how to sense and shift the energies in a group, in a room, or a whole organization, for example. Some people know how to do this intuitively, and they're usually seen as people with charisma. When someone is charismatic, what we really mean is they are tuned to the energies that they have within themselves as well as those around them. And more importantly, they can shift these energies. A good leader will have a similar sense of what their group needs and can use this intuitive understanding to attend to the energies in a group and help guide them toward a common goal. The key to this kind of energetic work is to first and foremost have a strong control of your own energy. So a step-by-step process for this could have 4 steps like this. Step 1, check your energy. Is your energy flowing or shut down? You want it to be flowing. Step 2, check the room. Usually this is called reading the room. Look around and notice the communal energetic atmosphere. 3, sync. Mirror or sync your energy with the energy of the room. This is very important. When you have mirrored the energy of another person or group, you show them that you understand the state of things in their body, mind, heart, and surroundings at that moment. Number 4, once you've synced, you can move. You can move the energy. So once you've synced with others and they've recognized this syncing, they've seen that you get where they're at, you can create a communal energy. You essentially have created a bond, almost kind of like a Bluetooth link, that creates a communal energy that connects you. And now you have the ability to shift that communal energy. Now, this last step can be done in many different ways. And a very, very simple example of this at work is if you ever notice someone you're talking to has their arms crossed, cross your arms too. Then after a few moments, uncross your arms. And they will usually uncross them as well without realizing it. What you've done is essentially notice their energy. They're a little bit closed off or shut down, symbolized by their arms being crossed in a defensive posture. You've synced up with their energy, crossing your arms, and then you've moved your energy, and they have followed your lead. And all of this happens unconsciously on their end, but consciously on yours, at least when you're paying attention. When you're aware of this syncing phenomenon, the central question becomes, what can I make? It's not what can I make this person do? Rather, it's where does our communal energy need to flow? Whether you're out on a date or giving a speech or leading a workshop, guiding a ritual or diffusing an argument, reading the room and syncing with their energy and sensing where it needs to go for the benefit of everyone involved is what allows us to merge and flow together And it is what makes us a good leader, and it allows us to really move in the world, and understand what is truly going on, and influence it for the better. This isn't just a kind of form of communication. This is really a process of union. When we are in tune with one another's energies, we are, for a time, moving as a single being. And this can be felt palpably at sports matches when thousands of people's energies are synced, moving together in tune with the game and one another like a single organism. This syncing is likely what allowed our ancestors to hunt together, work together, build together, live together, dance together, and die together. So the question is, where does the energy need to move? Now I want to make a note about magicians here. Archetypally, working with psychosomatic energy is primarily the role of a magician. Now, each and every one of us has a part of us that is a magician, archetypally speaking. And the mature magician senses the energy in a group and helps move it in a way that benefits the group. The shadow magician uses this ability to only benefit themselves. The two-sided shadow of the magician archetype, as Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette described it, is the manipulator and the denying innocent. This manipulation can be done consciously, as in a kind of classical manipulator who knows what he or she is doing, but it can also be done unconsciously, when a part of our ego manipulates situations for our benefit, while keeping the rest of the ego parts unaware, or at least mostly unaware, of the manipulation. If someone were to call out this manipulation, the person may flip to the opposite pole and become the denying innocent one. If the person is low in consciousness, this flip may happen beneath their own awareness, and they may remain righteously steadfast in their own innocence. The mature magician, unlike the shadow magician, relies on love as the core of his or her work in the world. This is the difference between a popular person who achieves popularity through gossip, social exclusion, and being sought after for example, their looks or connections or power, versus a popular person who achieves popularity by championing and including people and being honest, loyal, and good-natured. Charisma and leadership that is based on love is healthy and sustainable in a way that manipulative charisma and leadership never is. Manipulation may lead to fast and easy success, but it also leads to social corrosion, and in the long term is a form of self-sabotage that always ends poorly. Leading from a place of love allows for a stable life with deep running roots. It is the very juice of life. And when the energy we put out into the world is love, people around us, they feel it and they soften. Our inner experience becomes healthier, more light, and when others feel that they can receive genuine love from us, they feel at ease and at peace and know that you are worthy of their trust, their support, and also their own love in return. So I encourage you to watch the energies of those around you. Watch your own energy. Do energy checks. Notice what happens when you shift from one energy to another. And notice how others react to that shift. Psychospiritual energy is part of the invisible matrix or of forces that shape our world. When we become conscious of it, we can flow with it and we can help to guide it. Let the energy flow through you. Hold on to none of it, and you'll never get stuck again. This is the essence of non-attachment.